Again, mocking Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin has tips now for writing a book. Here we go, number 10. Close curtains so you don't get distracted by Russian. Number 8, first buy yourself 100 grand worth of writing outfits. Number 3, don't let writing cut into attending fire Letterman rallies. Number 2, have the book translated for sale to European countries like London. And the number 1 Sarah Palin tip for writing a book, I'll try to find you some tips and I'll bring them to you.
Here now, Fox News anchor Jane Skinner. I asked this question to Miller. How much do you think this book, Sarah Palin, is going to be number 1, and it's going to be a very big success? How much do you think guys like Letterman, Saturday Night Live, have damaged her credibility?
Oh, you know, I thought Dennis was spot on. I was totally with him. I thought she, at the end of the day, ended up helping McCain maybe a little bit with conservatives out there. And you know what? The people who love her are not going to be the people who love David Letterman.
But she has to expand her base if she wants to be a presidential contender or even run for the Senate. Well, she probably could win in Alaska by running for the Senate.
Yeah, she's probably starting that with this book. We're going to see.
Well, but she has to expand her base. And that was a gentle Letterman thing. That wasn't nasty like the last thing he did. But the media, the comedians, the satirists, whatever, is almost 80–90% left. They're never going to give Sarah Palin a break.
No, I mean,
they're always going to portray her as a dunderhead. So how much damage does that do?
But you know what this is reminiscent of is he did a top 10 list on her Tuesday night. He also did one last Friday night. So she's a frequent target. She's an easy target. It reminds me of...
What was Friday? What was that?
The top 10 questions you ask yourself before spending $63,000 on dinner with Sarah Palin. Okay. He was making fun of some lady who did it for charity, actually.
Right.
But some of the same stuff. She's a frequent target, she's an easy target, and it ends up getting recycled. It's reminiscent of the last couple of years of the Bush administration. The same jokes over and over again by different comedians.
It hurt Bush. The perception of George W. Bush was that he wasn't very smart. It hurt him. See, I think that Sarah Palin, to some extent, has to use this media stuff to her advantage. Now, she may in the book, because we don't know what the book has. But then when she goes out on the stump and you figure she'll promote the book, I hope she comes on this program, she's got to basically say, look, here's why they don't like me, here's why they're trying to diminish me, and she's got to fight back in some way.
Well, you have to stop worrying about her getting picked on, though, all the time. Think about it. This summer, she got David Letterman to publicly apologize. It was an extensive apology.
The folks
whether it was sincere or not, somebody got him to do it, and he did it on national television. Right. She puts herself out there. She's a big girl. She seems to enjoy the attention. And you mentioned this book, which you said pre-orders already is just behind the guy who wrote the Da Vinci Code, his new book. So she's not doing too shabby.
All right.
Don't worry so much.
Now, we have been critics of the internet because a lot of bad stuff happens on it. However, good stuff is happening too. Now, this is a very interesting piece of tape that I'm sure you didn't see. There was a lady who got her credit card interest rate jacked up to 30%. She fought back on the net. Roll it.
Recently, Bank of America jacked up my interest rate on the credit card to a whopping 30%. 30% APR. I could get a better rate from a loan shark. And I'm staging a debtor's revolt right here, right now, and thereby refuse to pay you one more red cent on your 30% credit card account. I have a breaking announcement. I was finally contacted by an official from Bank of America just because my personal account situation has apparently been resolved, which is a small victory for this debtor's revolt movement, but we still have a war to fight.
All right, so that was on YouTube. The woman's name is Ann Minch, and she got her interest rate lowered. So
not until after it was on YouTube for several weeks and went viral.
Right, but this is a good tool, is it not?
It should be a warning to companies that something like this can cause some significant damage. And you know, the reason she was so furious was we have to believe her story, first of all, because Bank of America won't talk about it because of privacy issues. So they can't tell us whether she's actually telling the truth. She says she was a good customer for 14 years.
She looks like she's telling the truth.
Yeah, she does.
I'm going to believe her.
And Bank of America took $45 billion in bailout money over the past year, and she said she just couldn't take it anymore. All the analysts on TV said, oh, go call them, they'll negotiate with you, they'll take that rate down. She said she did, they wouldn't, and this was her last resort. And now she says going forward she's going to start this.
Do you know what the rate is now? Would they bring it down to 18 or something?
She's now at her original rate at 12.99. So
they go from 13% to 30%. That's usury.
However, they're required to tell you that. Whether you don't read the fine print,
tell you that, but you still
fault.
owe the bucks.
Well, sure, but you also have the opportunity when they tell you that it's going up, you can pay it off at the lower rate.
Well, if you don't have the money.
Her point is, I didn't have $6,000 laying around. But doesn't it also raise the question of every time I'm late on a bill and every time I see that, that darn finance charge, I go, why am I so stupid? Why am I carrying debt on a credit card?
You shouldn't carry debt, but some people have to. And it's usury to raise from 13 to 30. Jane Skinner, everybody. On deck, Palins and Patriots tonight, starring Al.